It just makes sense because there might be some sort of tie-in potentially with, oh my god.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! No! That is not happening right now!
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Will, and yes, we are here, right near the finale. This is a 6-episode series. I'm 100% sure about that. But this is my spoiler review for episode 5 of Hawkeye. If you haven't seen the episode yet, please pause this video, go watch the episode. I've said this on every episode. It's a really good episode, and this one tees up the finale very, very well. So go watch it, then come back and hear my thoughts on the episode. As always with these episode reviews, these are spoiler reviews, so please, seriously, it's a spoiler. I'm not kidding. I'm going to talk about the spoilers in this episode. And this episode kind of followed a very similar formula of what I guessed it was going to be after watching episode 4. It does pick up immediately after the events of episode 4 where Kate and Clint had their little falling out. But of course they eventually reunite towards the end of the episode. But the true point where this episode begins actually is at the beginning back in 2018 where we see Yelena, played by Florence Pugh. Welcome back. She is on a mission with another Black Widow to continue the charge that they made at the end of Black Widow and trying to free all the other Black Widows. I just said Black Widow like 4 times in like the span of 20 seconds. But we catch up with her. She's going through, and they do make references to, you know, her sister and has she talked to her sister and stuff like that. And right when she goes to use the restroom and to kind of, I guess, decide what she's going to say next to the people that she's with, it's a really cool transition too, where she's putting water in her hand and she splashes her face, but when she lifts her hands up to splash, she gets dusted. So yes, she was one of the people that got snapped. That was my question going in, of like, was she snapped or not? I feel like for the next few years, and this is just a quick little sidebar, I feel like the next few years, every MCU property that comes out after Endgame, the question is, was this person snapped or not? The transition I really liked. It's a really cool transition. When she lifts her hands up, everything goes to dust, but she immediately comes back. So it shows the time gap for people who were snapped. We never actually saw that up until this point, where we see someone who is snapped and dusted come back in the same frame of time, but the environment around her also slowly changes, not in an immediate like, oh, she's in a different spot. It's a weird gradual transition, which I thought was really interesting to show that side of the snap and the blip, respectively. So she runs into the woman that they were trying to save in her home still, because she just appeared where she left. And, you know, she gives her the lowdown, and the last thing she says is she needs to find her sister. So then we fast forward to our little recap of episode 4. We see, you know, Clint's kind of moping around. Kate returns home, and she's distraught and upset. And she's comforted by her mother. And it's a really nice little mother-daughter scene that we get at the beginning of the episode, which leads to Kate revealing that there's some things with Jack that she's concerned about, and kind of tells her mother about the Shell Corporation and that he's the head of it, which immediately switches the tone from her mother being motherly to being concerned. And you would think it's concern over, oh my God, Jack's been lying to me, but really it turns into something more and leads into the theory that the mother is also one of the primary antagonists of the episode, which we get some revelations about her towards the end of it, leading to that very big reveal at the end of the episode. But Clint's also kind of licking his wounds after the fight with Yelena and with Maya, and he goes to Grills just to try to rest up and try to plan his next course of action after his separation from Kate. In the midst of this, too, we get a really cool interaction scene between Kate and Yelena, which is probably my favorite part of the episode. Kate goes back to her her place to get her stuff per her mother, and she gets to see, she hadn't been back since the fire in episode 2. She is greeted by Yelena, and the banter between the two of them and Florence Pugh's performance as Yelena is my favorite part of the episode. She's very jovial. She's still the same sort of weird, plucky girl slash badass assassin that we were introduced to in Black Widow. She's obviously playing catch up since she was blipped. Tries to serve Kate mac and cheese, and there's this weird back and forth, and how Yelena just kind of lays it out to Kate that who she is, why she's there, and she's obviously been sent there to kill Clint. She just lays it out straight up. Also, sort of pulls some intimidation tactics on Kate, but doesn't threaten. She threatens Kate only to not get in her way. She clearly doesn't have any beef with Kate. She doesn't necessarily want to do anything to her. She just wants to get a hold of Clint. There is also something very interesting in this episode, and it ties into the upcoming release of Spider-Man No Way Home, which is actually this week. And I did score tickets for Sunday. I will be seeing it this weekend. I'm just going to avoid social media for the next few days to not get spoiled. There's some interesting things that are in this episode that tie into one of the TV spots that was just revealed, where in the TV spot for Spider-Man No Way Home, and again, this is all spoilers, so there's a change in the TV spot when Peter and MJ are trying to escape the cops. They pass by a Rogers the Musical sign in the TV spot. It was not there in the original trailer reaction, or the original trailer, but it is there now. And then Yelena makes a point to mention wanting to see the new updates to the Statue of Liberty. And if you've seen in the trailer that was released, most of it looks like the climax or the third act of the movie takes place on the revamped Statue of Liberty that for some reason has a gaudy Captain America shield on it. People are weird. So I find it interesting because that firmly places Spider-Man No Way Home as a Christmas movie taking place during the Christmas season, not necessarily at some point after the immediate events of Spider-Man Far From Home. So I've just found that interesting in how they're directly tying in, which is also exciting because I'll get to the reveal at the end, but that could tie into the Spider-Man universe and the potential reveal of another character, not a Spider-Man rumor, but another character that might be in Spider-Man No Way Home. It's all connected, people. It's all one big mystery. It's connected, I'm telling you. Okay, so let's get back to the episode. Sorry, I'm throwing my hands around because, oh my god, this is such a good episode. But yeah, so we get that really cool interaction between Kate and Yelena, and I think that just reaffirms Kate's decision to continue to trust in Clint and help Clint, because she was the one who was really important in telling him that your actions don't define who you are. Counterpoint to Yelena saying you can't escape your past or your actions. It's all about living with the choices that we've made in life. She returns home and sees that Jack is being arrested. Mazel tov, but I'm starting to feel kind of bad because I think Jack is more so just a patsy at this point. Her mother admitting that she looked into it, and yeah, I think Jack just took the fall, basically. They keep referencing the Christmas party, which is obviously where our episode 6 finale is going to take place, where we get that big setup where we see Clint and Kate kind of, launching arrows together, all that fun jazz. But who will be on whose side? That's left to be determined. So we fast forward to Clint talking to his wife, and she is, it's not a pleasant conversation. There is a rumor too that the watch, which in the previous episode I said I felt like is probably like Tony Stark's, but I forgot that Clint actually mentioned that the person was still around and just not active. And the prevailing rumor online is that the watch is tied to Clint's wife. Like, his wife is possibly a former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and that watch is just tied to her previous adventures as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Which would make sense why Clinton's so desperate to get the watch back, and why his wife is just slowly but surely revealing more of her past. between the conversation, knowing multiple languages, just being the super spy. It's possible she could be a version of Mockingbird, who we did get a version of Mockingbird in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is also kind of non-canon. And maybe Mockingbird might be like a code name, like Black Widow is a code name. It can be passed on to different people. But basically Clint's saying he has to handle this, and he dons the Ronin outfit once more and goes after the Tracksuit Mafia and Maya, not necessarily to eliminate them, but to basically reveal the truth. And I like this scene because I was very curious as to how we're going to set up Maya as a anti-hero going into her own Disney Plus series that she's getting later on, entitled Echo. But we get a cool little hand-to-hand combat between Maya and Ronin, and Hawkeye reveals that he is Ronin and explains to Maya, while Maya's reading his lips, that he was tipped off to the tracksuits by an informant. So he was basically sent by her boss to take out the tracksuits. And yeah, her boss is who you think it is. So this is definitely the moment that puts the seed of doubt into her allegiance with the tracksuits, her allegiance with her boss, or her uncle, or whatever you want to call it. So I feel like this has definitely set her up to go off and do her own show. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see her in the finale, because it wouldn't really make sense at this point. She has the perfect little exit to her own show where she can now do her own investigation into the tracksuits and to Kazi, because she even questions Kazi, is like, why weren't you there that night? And that just kind of, I think that's a good way to set up her character going forward into her own series. Sorry, leading to the reveal of her boss. Also during the fight, Kate shows up and kind of saves Clint from getting skewered by Maya. So after they're reunited, Kate does reveal to Clint that she did have contact with the assailant on the roof, reveals it to be Natasha's sister, and immediately Clint does know that is Yelena now. It's kind of confusing, because if Clint knows who Yelena is, that means that she at least sorry pronouns all. So he was aware that she had a sister, but probably just never knew what she looked like. That's why he seemed confused and just referenced it as a Black Widow coming after him. Let's get to the end of the episode. The end of the episode does give us our humongous reveal and sets the stage for a very interesting finale. With Clint and Kate united now, they're back with Grills and Lucky, and they're just kind of having some food. But then Kate gets a text message from Yelena, because Yelena is tracking her mom, probably just to kind of check a few things. Like Kate even said, how sure you are the people that hired you? I think I said that completely weird. But anyway, how confident are you that the people that hired you aren't the bad guys? That sort of thing. That's what Kate said. But this led to Yelena sending Kate a picture of her mom and saying that her mom is meeting with the person that hired her. And the person that hired her is Wilson Fisk, a.k.a. the Kingpin. We finally get our Kingpin cameo in this episode, which means he's definitely going to be at that party on the finale. And which is super exciting, especially because Clint referenced the big guy a few times, even to his wife, and knowing how dangerous he is, and finally reference him by name by saying that's Kingpin. It's super it's exciting. It's really exciting. So the reason I think it ties in so closely with No Way Home is that I think we are going to get a Charlie Cox cameo in No Way Home. Because why would Kevin Feige, I'm going to go back to an interview he just said where he said that next time you see Daredevil, it will be played by Charlie Cox. Where? Who knows? Like, Kevin. You f***ing know. Don't play this game with us. So that would make sense why he would just immediately reveal it without doing his whole, like, ooh, I don't know. Because he's probably going to be in No Way Home. I'm not expecting it. I'm just saying, my gut is telling me that the way this movie is setting things up, it's gonna be insane. So having Daredevil show up to be a potential lawyer for Tom Holland's Peter Parker makes total sense. And why these two, the series and this movie, are so tied together right now, because they're slowly revealing the connectivity between the two, probably because they're so close together, and it just makes sense because there might be some sort of tie-in potentially with, oh my god,
shit! Oh shit! Ah shit! No! That is not happening right now!
So, depending... Oh, that just hit me. That just hit me like a ton of bricks. So, potentially, the finale for Hawkeye is next week. No Way Home comes out this weekend. Whatever happens at the end of No Way Home may directly be referenced in Hawkeye. Maybe. I don't know. I'm speculating right now because that's what this is a spoiler sort of thing. Oh, that just hit me. And you got to see it. Aren't you special? Aren't you special? Just to see my nerd brain just go exploding like that. I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, so there's a lot that could potentially happen in this finale right now. And it did not hit me until... Anyway, sorry. Let me bring it in. But that's a huge bombshell. It lets Kate know that her mother is into some shady shit. And maybe Jack was just a fall guy, and we've got our Kingpin of crime canonically in the MCU now. Who, like, did he just rise up during the blip? During the 5-year period, it makes sense. There's a power vacuum. It would make total sense. We get our setup now that Maya's got some questioning to do with her allegiances to certain people. If, Clint has no reason to lie right now. He really doesn't. He just laid it all out there. So if Kingpin ordered the hit on Maya's father just to use Maya as a weapon, that makes it tracks with her character from the comics, because that's the same way that she found out that how her dad died in the comics. It makes total sense. I'm glad to see that Clint and Kate are back working together. We've also got confirmation from Grills that their suits are ready, so we're going to get their lovely outfits for the finale as well. This finale is just going to be stacked right now, and again, holy shit, I did not think about that. I just freaked myself out. But anyway, overall, this episode was dope. I love Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova. I'm glad that she's in this episode. She still brings that sort of plucky nature, that sort of lightheartedness. I'm hoping that the weird relationship that's forming between her and Kate, I hope we get to see that in like a season 2 or a different sort of movie, because they could be the next sort of Clint Natasha sort of friendship going, because they have this very unusual circumstances that they met. They obviously gelled with the little conversation in this episode, and I think Kate's sort of earnest and her sort of I don't want to say naivete, but her innocence her purity. There we go. We'll go with purity. Could rub off on Yelena in a good way. That could have her, do something besides being a contract killer for hire, like she's being used right now under Valentina. I'm excited to see the suits. I'm excited to see how Kingpin plays into it. I'm excited to see if Clint makes it home for Christmas, because now that I'm thinking that whatever happens in No Way Home could directly tie into the ending of Hawkeye is really effing exciting. It's super exciting. But I think as an episode alone, it stands out pretty well. I still think my favorite episode is probably episode 3 or 4. Probably episode 3 still is like my favorite. But again, solid episode. Great way to lead into the finale. It sets up our characters on their path leading to their different destinations after the series wraps up. I hope we get like some kind of a season 2. Maybe they'll do something on the West Coast and could maybe form West Coast Avengers. That would be pretty cool as well. So, that was my review of episode 5 of Hawkeye. Hopefully you've had a chance to check it out. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts on that. As always, thank you so much for watching this and all my videos. I really do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, again, my name is Will. I do this geeky stuff on the internet periodically, and I just have a good time with it, and hopefully you have a good time checking me out. If you did like this episode, why not subscribe to the channel? It would really help me out. I'm super close to 400 subscribers. I'm trying not to yawn on camera. super close to 400 subscribers, and I can't get there without you. So if you are new and if you do like this or like some of my other videos that are on the channel, maybe subscribe. It would really help me out. It would really make my day. You can follow me on most social media platforms listed at the end of this video. Like, share, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. I have a ton of videos. I just posted a new welcome video, which I'm really proud of. It was a lot of fun to make, and hopefully you enjoy it as well. So until next time, I will catch you later. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you did like this video, why not give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends? You can subscribe to the channel by clicking on my gorgeous little face right over there. You can follow me on all the various social media platforms right below. And last but certainly not least, if you've got a few extra minutes, why not check out one of the lovely videos floating right over here. Later.